In this short video, I want to give you some practical hints on how to overcome sexual desire. First of all, sexual desire is something natural. It is really the result of the accumulation of the sexual energy in the body. When the sexual energy accumulates or rises to a certain level, then our appetite or our yearning for sexual arousal or activity increases. That's a very natural, normal impulse that arises in the body, and we will always have it. It will always be there. But what the really important thing is what we do with that. Obviously, we have two options. One option is that we can channel it inwardly and upwardly into our brain, into our heart, into some activity, into something that we're passionate about, into creativity. We can even use that energy spiritually or esoterically. Or the other option is to go with what we know as lust and to use it externally, expending it miserably and getting a poor negative result out of it. Okay, anyhow, sometimes when we're full of that desire, we don't care about anything. So what I want to address in this video is to show you what to do when that desire arises. Okay, the first thing to do is to, so as we were saying, the first thing to do when we experience a lot of sexual desire is to just observe, to be quiet, to be passive, and to be fully aware of everything that is going on inside your body. Put your awareness on your sexual center, put your awareness in your emotional center, and put your awareness in your intellectual center. Become fully aware of all your thoughts, all your feelings, and the vibration, the sensations, etc. in your sexual center. Be fully aware of how that desire is affecting you. And the most important thing is to stop, is to not act upon it, just to be like a witness, an observer, studying, carefully observing yourself. And in some time, if you maintain this that position of observing, the desire will pass. It may come again, yes, it probably will come again, and if it does, you just have to repeat the same practice, the same steps. Become the observer. Don't really try hard not to engage in the thoughts. Anyway, the core of these thoughts is for you to fulfill that desire. So those thoughts may be of a decent nature, perhaps an indecent nature, perhaps of an unreal nature, an unrealistic, nature, but just let those thoughts pass. So the first thing, if we're able to just observe, that's a big step forward. We're on the right road, we're on track to success. Okay, so the second thing to do is to do what we call the transmutation of the sexual energy, and that is to transform the seminal entity, which is really the sexual energy, into energy of a higher, more refined quality. And then the longer we do this transmutation practice, the more energy we will extract from our raw sexual energy, the seminal entity, which is in parentheses providing or supplying that libido, that sexual desire. And then because we're extracting more and more energy, the desire that we have will decrease markedly. There'll be a big decrease in that sexual desire, and of course then it will come under our control. So the way to transmute is a very physical, tangible act. So what we have to do is put our attention on our sexual center, one where the in the place where the sexual energy is, and then inhale deeply. And use your imagination and your will to feel and to imagine that sexual energy going up your spine. That sparks of light, sparks of energy are coming from your seminal entity, going up into your spine through these very subtle meridians or energy channels, then into the brain, and then down into the heart. So we recommend to breathe in deeply, imagine all that energy going up into your brain, draw it up, use your will to drive it, to channel it into your brain. Then when you exhale, after holding your breath for some time, as long as you can, or at least for 20 seconds or 10 seconds, then breathe out, exhale, and imagine and will feel that energy going into your heart. So that way the higher parts of you, your brain, your heart, etc., absorb that energy. And if you do it maybe at least 10 times, 20, 30, 40, 50, you really feel a big difference. Absolutely guaranteed you'll feel a big difference. Okay, so that's what we could call the conscious, voluntary way of managing our sexual energy, is to manage your sexual energy in a way that is edifying, that morally benefits you, that gives you will, that makes you to feel good, that you've triumphed. And it is good for the body, for your awareness, for your brain, for your heart, because you've filled your body with energy. The other way, takes you to do something, something that we regret, something that harms us, that may not be very good for the other person, something we feel ashamed about, we feel sorry about, afterwards we promise ourselves we'll never do it again, but of course, we've set a habit in place, a pattern in place, and most likely we are going to do it again. So these two key steps, just observe and wait for that desire to pass. It will always pass. It's like a storm. The storm approaches, grows in intensity, and then it reaches a peak of intensity, and the storm leaves, and then the desire gets less and less and less and less and less. That's the nature of desire. It always will be like that, and always will be like that. Sorry, it always has been like that, and always will be like that. Just we need patience, because that desire will appear and appear and appear and appear. You just need patience to go through the same step, observing, waiting. And then the transmutation of the sexual energy, is really the key. That's the big, big key here. And that transmutation transmutes the sexual desire into energy, and then into creativity, intelligence, wisdom, when that energy goes into our brain. But also it transmutes the desire. It transforms that desire into will, into new ideas, into strength, into intelligence, into courage, even into triumph, into a better overall feeling about ourselves, about our capacities, and about the sexual energy. In that way we like the sexual energy, because we see that it benefits us. When we're not using the sexual energy correctly, we start to get a negative attitude towards the sexual energy. And in subsequent videos I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so I hope that this short video has been of some benefit to you. I really hope it has. Feel free always to leave some feedback or some comments at the bottom of the video, so that I can improve or add more to future video posts. Thanks.